All right. Recently, I've gone back and forth for a while on how and when to talk about this, so to make it easy, I'll just dive right in. I am being sued by a man named Mario Nafal for $11 million. This is an extremely long series of events with a lot of context I hope the community is willing to watch in video form, but the summary bullet points are as follows, and there is a link down below, obviously, to a playlist of all the videos if you want to do that before watching any further. In November of 2022, I did a video about shady activities by a rising Twitter celebrity named Mario Nafal. This video led to a response, ultimately an entire series, where whistleblowers, former contractors, investors, and business partners all came forward, offering up documents and testimony for a large variety of shady activities from Mario Nafal, his company IBC, and more. Those videos were met with multiple threats of a lawsuit by someone who is, in my opinion, and to the best of my understanding, a sleazy social media grifter. And now, as more and more evidence comes out day by day, he has decided to file multiple lawsuits, one of which is an $11 million defamation complaint against me personally. He is currently pursuing legal action against myself, obviously, as well as a former contractor named Echelon, who previously worked as IBC Group's head of operational security, as well as another former executive, Frank Heidenreich, who served as chief marketing officer. Mario's team is also openly sharing a sort of counterclaim document right now, stating that there is impending legal action against yet another independent reporter, one of the very first to discuss these situations in 2022, even before I did, going by the name Hash Bastards on Twitter. And as the events continue to escalate day by day, that might not even be the end. For clarity, multiple of my sources, both public sources who are now stepping forward without anonymity and private sources who have so far remained anonymous, are willing to sign sworn affidavits attesting to the authenticity of the documents they shared, but that's not what this video is about. All the legal action will take place in the background, and it's boring for a lot of people. Today is about sending a message for freedom of speech and serving a rebuke to someone who is solely motivated by inflicting damage on whistleblowers and reporters in order to stifle what they say. You can dislike me, my style, my content, my methods, or my voice. All of the above. But the truth of the matter here is that I worked with sources. Those sources gave me information, which was evaluated and cross-referenced to the best of my human ability. I clearly articulated my personal opinions based on that evidence, while Mario Nafal clearly disliked those opinions. His replies to openly abuse the legal system, which is made even more obvious by his original threats to bleed me financially in court, and utilize DMCA claims to remove the videos when he knew and knows full well that the Digital Millennium Copyright Act does not apply here. Believe me when I say there's a lot going on at the moment, but much the same way Magnates Media was recently targeted maliciously by someone attempting to abuse legality and hurt him, I am now being attacked by someone that I consider to be a crypto con man who is attempting to shut down critics by any means necessary. Mario Nafal claims, directly in his social media and elsewhere, to be a partner and equity owner at IBL, International Blockchain Legal, which is the law firm targeting me in my home state of New Hampshire, where Mario supposedly also conducts substantial business. I have an enormous folder of evidence and testimony, which I can make available to proper legal counsel at the drop of a pin, and I am now asking the community to support me, if I even have that right, as I crowdfund a war chest and send a message that a Dubai-based crypto sleazeball can't just throw money at a broken legal system and silence everyone who tries to speak out. I put myself in the middle of all this by initially covering the story. That much is readily apparent. I stand by my work, and after everything I've talked about with all the people ultimately affected, I believe this is the only legitimate course of action. In a world where social media has turned into a cesspool of competing self-interests, when Mario is propped up by none other than quite literally Elon Musk on Twitter, while sitting US representatives go on his program, suing a YouTuber who criticized you with evidence-based testimony from your own contractors and associates, while trying to tear apart the credibility of whistleblowers and openly acknowledging your true intent to bleed your targets financially in court, is a really scummy move. This is the right thing to do. Some people may not think so, but that voice that guides us, the quiet one inside that tells you right from wrong, right? Everybody has it. I can't ignore that voice right now because it's not really that quiet. It is demanding that I stand up and fight for what I believe in. It's actually far bigger than just me. Elon Musk bought Twitter, of course, supposedly hates bots, right? Air quotes around that, but the new standard he directly promotes is a citizen journalist of sorts with more falsified engagement than practically any other account on the entire platform. The favoritism on Twitter is also rampant. Someone like Mario Nafal is elevated to extreme heights while allegedly doing all sorts of things that I have discussed in prior videos. Again, playlist link down below. I hope everyone will take the time to watch it. While someone like Don't Walk Run Productions, an excellent YouTuber, can't even get subscriptions approved on Twitter. Jeremy from The Quartering, who has a fair bit of relevant experience on YouTube here to draw from, claimed openly that there is a smaller group of accounts, which he referred to as Elon's inner circle, who all push and promote things in unison on the platform. And as I search for reasonable explanations as to why Mario Nawfal has been allowed to persist for this long, despite a torrent of evidence and testimony surfacing all the time, that kind of thing really makes you wonder. Mario Nawfal brags directly in messages, quite literally to Elon Musk, about the money he's raising for Twitter Spaces, a claim that I find myself doubting is even true. And maybe all of this really does boil down to the idea that some people only care about social media fame and are willing to do quite literally anything to get money and Twitter clout. Mario seems like that type of person. There's video evidence and audio evidence of him saying things like that. But those people shouldn't be allowed to bully others and dictate what is or is not spoken out into the world just because they have the money to hurt people. Mario's latest effort is to say he was framed. All right, that's a very bold claim, but why then would he describe the initial leaks of information like this? Quote, "Bro, you can't start leaking shit and then ask us to pay. You already did the damage. I'm the one who told Tarek to stop the legal action after we spoke on New Year's Eve, and I told you on that call I have good news for you. If you want to get what you want and settle, I need assurances that you'll stop leaking and the video is removed." End quote. Now, he's talking about his former chief marketing officer there, his own CMO prior, whom he acknowledged elsewhere is owed something like $60,000 on a handshake deal to delay those wages till a later date. Frankly, I don't really care what that arrangement is or was. I care that Mario now says he was framed when his first response to my video coming out was to go to one of my sources, of which there are many, and tell them to stop leaking things. Not fabricating things or telling lies. Stop leaking things. That's a very important distinction. If this lawsuit goes all the way to trial, all of it will get published. Defamation trials are invasive, tedious, and demanding, but when something has to be done, someone has to do it. He's suing me for $11 million, and I'm fighting. I've weighed the options, understood that I could probably just delete things and get away from what will likely become a multi-month, perhaps multi-year saga till the case is won. But the right thing to do is hold strong, explain my reasons to everyone who's curious, that's my responsibility, and stand up for what I believe in. To be completely honest with everyone, I don't actually know if I've earned the support of the YouTube community. I like to think I have, of course, but what I'm really asking here is that you give me money so I can defend myself against someone who's got more resources and is trying to hurt me, because they didn't like what I said in the pursuit of truth. Everything contributed to this fund, whatever remains, will be returned at the conclusion of the case. Whether that be after trial or sooner if it gets dismissed remains to be seen. I'm using GoFundMe. I'm staking the entirety of my reputation on this, and I'm asking the YouTube community if they are willing to support that. The link is down below in the description. Larger creators who wish to get in contact for any reason, my email is down below. Anyone versed in the legal field of defamation, of course. I'm doing some thorough scouting right now with multiple options, but anyone willing to work on contingency or open to offering a discount of sorts based on the principle of it all, I'd be very interested to hear from you. Obviously, I'm in New Hampshire, so there's a bit of a specialized nature to this where local counsel will be needed in the event of a larger outside representation hire. But when I take the time to sit down and really truly reflect on all this, everything that's happened, I think this is the best way forward. I'm really not sure where it all goes from here. I'll still be making some bomb-ass content, by the way. My next project is about WorldCoin, I think, which is a very interesting rabbit hole to go down. That or some more video games, things I've been enjoying lately, etc. But the gist of it is that for anyone whose trust I've earned over these years, I need your help. See if other creators are willing to talk about this, amplify, spread the message, etc. Donations, if you're willing and able only, and referrals when it comes to quality defamation defense attorneys. I've already been reaching out to a lot of them lately, so ideally that would only be if you can make an actual introduction for me or know them personally, but again, anything is much appreciated. I should clarify something here. Some people may be thinking, but Upper Echelon, you said you had an engagement letter from Platt Shima Richmond and were ready to go. And yes, I do, but there were some last minute staffing changes at PCR, among other things, that have caused me to keep my options open for the time being. Might still go with them, very real possibility there, but not 100% yet as the story grows and as more developments happen. Lastly, believe it or not, I'm actually including all of the counterclaim documents that I have, which Mario has released in the description as well. This is a situation where I want everyone to be as informed as possible and make their own decisions. I firmly believe that the case is one-sided, the facts of the matter are obvious, and there's only one logical conclusion to draw, but at the end of the day, it's up to the individual. I don't get to decide for you. Life is a series of critical moments with downtime in between. This is one of those critical moments in mine. Again, the GoFundMe is linked down below in the description, as is a contact email address for anyone wishing to talk about the case, offer advice, cover the story, or anything in between. Again, everything is appreciated. But yeah, I'll cut it there and stop rambling. As always, thank you all for watching, and have a nice night.